Hello again.
Hello, and we're back today. We had a lot more that we were talking about, and we just wanted to keep going a little bit today. I brought out my copy of the Peacock Party that I've had since I was 2 years old. And I wanted to share with everybody the stories that my teacher would not read in school and share with the other students that hurt my feelings and made me feel like an outcast, as if I already didn't feel like one in the first place. So these were the stories that, not stories, but this is a book of poetry with absolutely amazing artwork. I don't know if you can actually see it there. I'll do a close up maybe. I'll do a close up. There's the raven. And this one in particular, my teacher was quite happy to skip over. So the raven, I want to read this to you. Okay. The raven, however, was far from delighted. He cursed at the party. He wasn't invited. Before the world found shape or rhyme, before the pendulum measured time, you were spawned by a murky spell, you bed made of demons and powers of hell. Hunter of the gallows tree, raven, what mysteries do you see? What hellish schemes do you devise? What evil brews in your cruel eyes? Busy in your time-worn tower, you spin your black charms hour by hour. Take sulfurous fumous air, mercury, potassium mixed with care. Charge this broth to a gentle fire, add bat fur, cobwebs, stir the mire. Then your evil wish behold the ruddy hues of magic gold. And so these are the poems and stuff that I used to read to my children when they were little. And that my mother read to me. This just absolutely love these. And then this is the mighty Shalem Nizam. The story of the mighty parrot Shalem Nizam. An awesome guest soon joined the throng, though fortunately not for long. The bustling birds looked up in wonder, seeing Shalem Nizam and his infamous condor. From a golden throne threatening cruel demands, more jewels, more wealth from his conquered lands. His eyes gleamed darkly and then he was gone, casting a shadow across the sun. Many stories have been told of tyrants, despots, villains bold. Worst was the parrot Shalem Nizam, spawned by a she-devil, sired by a ram. Birds reviled and cursed his name as he warred with sword and flame. His palaces gleamed in a misty hill. They say he changed his form at will. He sacrificed to the evil one in the pagan temple of the golden sun and demonstrated his evil powers, issuing edicts from silvery towers. Though evil passes as evil must, and palace and parrot both turn to dust, 1,000 years later, tales may be told about carvings in stone and slivers of gold that are found by the banks of the old Amazon bearing the claw mark of Shalem Nizam. For no one can ever be sure, my friends, where truth begins and fiction ends. And that is a couple of pieces from the Peacock Party. And my absolute favorite book ever. When I was a child.
I guess you read the two ones about the evil people.
And that was the thing. That was my teacher would not read that in class because they talked about, it was talked about evil stuff. And that brings me to another point. Children's books, for example. One of the things that, so whenever my children were growing up, whenever it comes to stories and things like that, I was less likely to have my children watch things like the Disney movies, and they didn't watch, Barney or SpongeBob or, anything like that. But all of my children watched Lord of the Rings when it came out. It didn't, the whole thing was, there was something that my father taught me that he told me about that I thought was really kind of profound with kids. It's actually better for them. It's not a matter of what the actual content. Okay, so it does matter what the content is, but there can be bad stuff. There can be evil. There can be darkness in stories. There can be things that frighten children. Mm-hmm. But the whole thing is, as long as good wins, that's what's important.
Yeah.
That's what's really, that there's the value.
What's really important is the evil being conquered.
The evil being conquered. That's what, there's a quote, oh my goodness, I wish I had it. It's beautiful. I think it was it C.S. Lewis? It's something to the effect of dragons. The children, it's not that children shouldn't be taught, something about children being taught about dragons, and it should be that children are taught that maybe it's about fantasy stories. Shinny.
Let them at least read tales of brave knights and valorous deeds or something.
Something about so that they know that dragons can be conquered.
So, yeah.
And that's what the point is about fairy tales and
G.K. Chesterton, I believe it was.
okay.
Who's the stories don't tell children that dragons are real. Children already know dragons are real. They tell them that dragons can be overcome.
Yeah, that's
something closer to that.
Yeah, children should be taught, stories of like, fiction, fantasy and things like that, not to be taught about dragons or something, but to be taught that dragons can be overcome. Anyways, I will find that because I do have that quote and I will post that in the group and on our Twitter because I think that's a wonderful quote. And I think that it's really valuable. And that's kind of what I've always done with all of my kids is it's not a matter of, whether, you taught your kids to believe in dragons and to believe that dragons are real and this and that and the other. Okay, yeah, we all know that dragons are real.
Exactly.
But what's
important
important
to learn is that dragons can be overcome.
Exactly.
The bad ones anyhow.
Yes, the bad ones, because there's good dragons too.
Mhm.
Some dragons are absolutely wonderful and,
Like Valcor.
Yes.
The luck dragon.
Yeah, really. So, anyways, that was one of the things about this book in reading it in class that it really upset me. It really, really and truly did.
The bad bird and that turns to dust.
Yeah, he died.
Wasn't invited because he was bad.
Right.
Yeah.
The Raven was not invited to the party because he was a bad guy. Nobody wanted him.
Exactly. And the other guy turned into dust. He just disintegrated.
Yes, even he came to the
And
party.
his pals did too.
Yeah. And he didn't stay long, fortunately, because nobody liked him anymore. Yeah. So yes, it's that evil can be conquered.
The Grimm's fairy tales and all that.
Yes, the actual
really dark, but
right, the actual Grimm's fairy tales. I think they're really important. Some of them are a little bit the
interesting.
Yeah, some of them I don't really care
Some of them
for.
are weird.
The chopping of toes and things like that.
Yeah.
With the
Grimm's
original
fairy tales?
Cinderella. Yeah. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I think that's really.
That's a little over.
Well, but what it is they're trying to. What he's trying to express there is that the vanity. I mean, the extreme vanity that these sisters had. So I mean, that's
it's and the mother too.
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of things like that I think are important for kids to learn and to understand because they need to understand that things can be overcome and conquered. And that's
whether they're being presented with a fictional example or not.
Right. Well, children actually learn better through fiction. They that's the point of storytelling and of fiction is that so what stories are, I mean, they've been passed down from, originally passed down from generation to generation. They were a way of telling events, and some of them were made into fiction in order to explain things to where people could understand them.
Well, storytelling is trying to think of the word, but it's a sharing of lessons and ideas. Exactly. Between people, and fiction is easier to relate to sometimes and to understand because fiction has to make sense. Yes, fiction has to be logical. That's exactly right. That's what Mark Twain says, the only difference between fiction and real life is that fiction has to make sense. Exactly. And that is the absolute truth. Because that's the point of fiction. We've been given these gifts of storytelling, and it's a natural thing of creative process. Yeah. Well, that's also something else is like creativity. Yeah.
people in general, humanity. I mean, everybody creates something.
Yes.
Everybody has a purpose to create something.
Mhm.
It's innate. It's just a, you know, everybody,
that's-
whether it's a story, whether it's artwork, whether it's music, whether it's a car, whether it's, you know, inventions, and I mean, just something like people
Something
are
creative.
it's, yeah, there's this thing that we have in us to create. Some people, it's, you know, they like to create chaos. I mean, no, that's not necessarily
No,
what they
that's
ought
not,
to be doing,
No, they,
but sometimes that's what they do, is they just create chaos, and they have to learn not to do that. You know, like also sitting here reading the book party now.
Yeah.
She hasn't read it in a million times. Yeah, see, this has always just been one of our favorite books.
it's
but
fascinating. I like this.
I love that, yes, that's that, I
Yeah.
really do.
I
We
love
should show
it.
that now, because you're,
It's George and the Dragon, but
yeah,
as birds.
yes.
Oswald Ostrich, R.A.
This is absolutely one of my favorite books ever of all time. I'm in all of his books, that Alan Aldridge, that
Yeah.
he did the retellings of some books, some
He-
stories. This is a really old story actually that he just took and he redid it. I don't remember what the original title was. I have it.
The Peacock at Home,
The
by
Peacock at
Aloud.
Home. Yeah.
inspired by,
Yeah.
it says in the front.
Okay.
And then.
Oh,
he
this
didn't-
is one of my favorites.
he
Can I read this one too? Can
Yeah, I
read
love
the
that
Eagle?
one.
Oh my goodness, I love the
He
Eagle.
didn't actually write poems.
Okay,
He just did all the pictures.
Yeah, he mainly did the pictures. There was Harry Woollop and George E. Ryder also, but okay, so let me read the Eagle. This is one of my favorites too, because I love this. Oh my goodness. Okay, the Eagle.
And he's not like a bad guy.
No, he's not, but he's okay. The magic day at last was dawning. Chanticleer announced the morning. Today is the day, be up and away. Peacock-a-doodle-doo, peacock-a-doodle-day. Swifts and rooks and every guest in fancy plumes, their Sunday best, swept towards the peacock party, led by the eagle, stern and haughty. When the world at the time of Genesis stood, fashioned first by fire and then by flood, when earth and sea had separated and all the mountains elevated, the eagle was made ruler of the sky, the arbitrator over all that fly. Since might is right as inflexible law, he was chosen by battle of beak and claw. When the conquering Roman horde put the world beneath their sword, were not the mighty legions led by the eagle at their head? Did not the old Germanic race the eagle effigy embrace? Anyways, so
And do the mountain man.
yes, I love that. The eagle is one of my favorites too. And that was something we were talking about. We'd read somewhere that Ben Franklin had, you know,
Oh, yeah, one of the turkey
had-
their national bird.
yeah, wanted the turkey to be our national bird. Could you imagine? Oh my goodness.
Every Thanksgiving, let's kill the national bird for dinner.
I couldn't even imagine. Like turkeys. Okay, now see, anybody that has ever had turkeys. Okay, we have had turkeys.
Yep.
We raised turkeys. And they are not bright animals. They're very unintelligent. What their thing is they are mean, territorial, and they kill. They're
That one was really
they-
cute though.
the males kill each other.
Yes, from if they're this big, they will start killing each other.
Yes, but they don't actually kill each other until
They
they're big enough to do so.
No, but they really start trying.
So yes, but what happened though, as soon as they reached breeding age,
Mhm.
do you remember, we actually had to separate
They were
them.
actually literally killing each
It was
other.
within 24 hours,
Mhm.
they immediately, they reached, that thing,
Whatever happened. And then-
whatever happened, it was immediate.
Mhm.
And one turkey literally had the other turkey's entire head down its throat
Mhm.
and was killing it.
Mhm.
So we had to separate them.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that, eagles, I think, make a much better national bird.
Yeah, something good about turkeys is that the hens can hatch out eggs from chickens and geese
Oh, yes,
and ducks.
yes,
As long as their things clean.
As long as they're
Yeah.
kept clean,
yes,
and
the
dry.
female turkeys are
Then
actually really wonderful.
they're very useful. And
But I don't want to get
yeah,
onto
no, we're not
here.
Yeah,
Um,
just I was
But-
trying to point out something good about turkeys as well.
Yes,
since we're
turkey
talking about-
hens can hatch out anything.
Mhm.
They actually make the best incubators that there
Yeah,
are.
the one even hatched out like geese.
And yeah, she hatched out ducks, she hatched out geese, she hatched out chickens, she hatched out turkeys.
But then she still likes from the other turkey's nest.
Yes, because, well, that's because she wanted to hatch everything out, because she was so proud of herself because she did it. And
Yeah.
the other turkey was obviously inept. Since her eggs hadn't hatched yet.
Because they weren't ready.
They weren't ready, but yeah. Anyways, there's your little
Yeah.
lesson on turkeys for the day. Turkeys would not make a good national bird though, they're not very bright.
No.
I think an eagle is much, and they're much more majestic.
I think part of the
Turkeys
reason we
are
think
just not.
part of the reason I think it was more majestic is because we don't raise them.
Yeah, there's that too. I couldn't imagine having like a farm animal though as your national anything,
Not really.
like I don't know,
I
they're
mean-
just not,
No.
no.
Especially not a turkey.
No, no, not turkeys. Anyways, so we're talking about stories here. That was what we were talking about. We were gonna talk about more about character development and things of that nature. So.
And if your character's a turkey.
Character's a turkey. Is your character an eagle or a turkey?
That's the
Um,
question.
And if he's a turkey, what's his name? I mean, it's gotta be very basic.
Like Tom or Joe or Bob.
Yeah.
Maybe the thing about your story though is that the turkey's name is actually like Reginald or something.
Yes, that would actually be very fitting.
Yeah.
I can
Why
see
are
that
we
for
writing about
Goose, too.
cookies now?
Oh, well, let's throw some geese in there too.
Geese.
Geese, the one thing I love about geese, that I actually, it's a love-hate kind of a thing about them. I actually, oh my goodness, geese are wonderful.
They are.
But geese have a superiority complex.
They do.
That is their entire,
Yes, it's like this.
Yes. yes, oh, yes, the little story, the story of Petunia, yes, I love
Petunia
that.
the silly goose.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
great book. How we spell
But, yeah, we had a goose named Petunia that she
Oh,
was
she was
just like her.
sweet.
But she was actually yeah,
She was the sweetest
the
goose.
sweetest goose that we had.
Yeah.
But geese do have a superiority complex, that's their entire being,
Mhm.
that's what they
Like,
embody.
they're superior.
They're superior,
They
that-
can't even walk upright sometimes.
yes, because.
They
and-
trip over their superiority.
Yes, but they didn't actually trip over anything.
Like a cat.
Yes,
They meant to do
worse than a cat, worse than a cat,
It's worse than
yes,
Considering the cat that we have,
yeah.
this has gotta be pretty bad. This is a cat. She's
Yes.
really superior.
So anyways, and we also wanted to make note, we have a, what is it an anole?
Yeah.
We have an anole loose in here, he came in
Yeah.
through underneath a window somewhere or other. And there's an anole running around, so I don't know where he went to.
In the corner, up at the
I don't
top.
know, he was in the blinds.
Yeah.
So if you saw an anole running around in here, yes, it happens sometimes. And he ends up going back out,
Mhm.
and that's just. what
Sometimes
happens.
it's a gecko.
Sometimes there's a gecko. Yes, oh my goodness, when the geckos are really, they're like run around, like, they're really weird, because they're like, I didn't realize they were nocturnal.
Fortunately, it's never anymore.
Yes, oh my
That would
goodness.
just be so annoying.
They can't fit.
The iguanas, yes, I'm glad that they don't.
They're
fit
like
anywhere. Yes, well, actually, they're sort of like chickens.
Yeah.
And they're
Could you imagine?
they're stupid.
They would
but they're
knock
really cool.
everything over.
They wouldn't, yes, they would make a mess, it'd be disastrous. We have iguanas, they live outside, and they're very large, some of them, and there's hundreds of them, it seems like. Anyways, we're completely off topic here.
How about
Exactly.
characters and, stories?
Yes. So. We were originally talking about,
Jack killing a dragon.
No, we wanted to
And
talk
And then
about,
he goes to the pub and he meets Aloysius.
First Aloysius.
we wanted to talk about
and
like
the pub is crowded.
character description and like,
And then
Okay, describe
Swear
Jack for us. Okay, this dude just killed a dragon from the inside. So what's he look like?
well, he's tall. He's got dark hair and really dark brown eyes. And I don't know. His
Okay.
mom's character, she should describe him. No, what would somebody look like though if they just come out of a dragon? well, he might be covered in stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that was one of the things we were talking about.
Because he's a
Yeah.
clean person.
Is,
Mhm.
yeah, he would come out and he would just be immaculate.
No, he
Yes.
would wash himself off.
Yeah.
There was a waterfall.
Inside the dragon.
No.
He would come out and there was a waterfall and he was just automatically clean.
And there was
He's-
rainbows and
And
sparkles,
he
okay?
smiles and his teeth sparkle. No,
Because he's very
No,
tall
his
and
teeth shouldn't
he's a
sparkle, 'cause that
protagonist.
makes him be kind of fake, and he's a very
oh, okay, so then he's covered in guts,
okay.
if he's
What-
real.
what
he's
is
covered in
hammer?
guts.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So then like, he's
Okay,
he's
so,
covered
yeah.
in blood and guts and he comes into the pub and scares all the
as
other
he was
people away.
waiting.
Except
They
for
don't
Aloud,
sound
except for Aloud and Hammersmith.
Well, Aloysius and Hammersmith are his best friends. They're not scared of
Wait,
him.
they're two different people. I thought it was Aloysius Hammersmith.
No, Aloysius and Hammersmith.
Oh, okay. I
They're
thought
his
it was
best
one
friends and
person.
they're not scared of him. They were just waiting for him to get the
Aloysius is
dragon.
the detective.
What's he doing in a pub?
Waiting
He's
for
just there
Jack.
to be Jack.
Well, hello, that's where he gets a lot of information, right?
That's where he gets all his information.
Yeah, because Jack's gonna go through and
No, well, the innkeeper should know to give all kinds of information.
Okay, so
They're
what are we
bottom
talking
line,
about?
so-
What is our point here? We were
We're
talking
trying to
about
say, like-
character development
Yeah,
So far, Jack
and
is
because like
developed
even
into
if
a
your
hero.
character
and, okay.
isn't a very nice person in the beginning, they should, toward the end, it should kind of conclude that their character has developed into a better person, right?
Right,
Because
yes.
you
that
don't
is
want
one
them
of
to
the
be
things.
like,
So in one of my stories, what I have for my character is he's kind of he doubts himself. He has like a major issue with self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's his entire like being is that he's like
He's like this
he's like
vortex of
this
self-doubt
yes
and low self-esteem
and yes, he has very low self-esteem. He
Probably
doesn't
confidence.
believe in anything. He's like, I suck. Like my entire like everything sucks. My life sucks.
yeah, and
everything
then
sucks.
towards the end, he shouldn't be
then-
like that anymore because
Well, and then
it would all make
Well,
sense.
then he's a confident ball of sunshine.
exactly at the end, he is not only is he, I mean, he's stronger, he's smarter, he's wiser, he's,
He's
and
smarter
he's
and
conquered.
wiser?
Yes, he's smarter. Yes, there's a difference
Smart.
between
Yes,
being
yes,
smart
yes,
and
yes.
wise.
There is.
There's a great, and he's more of a smart ass and he's wiser
Okay.
and he's more witty.
And he might even be funny.
He's definitely more funny because he has more self-confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish
So-
I had jokes.
Anyways, yes, because he's stronger, he's smarter, he's wiser, he's
Yeah.
and he conquered all of this stuff and he's also grown as a person significantly.
Mhm.
Not just like he hasn't even aged that much. He's just grown so much as a person. He's learned so much that he's almost a completely different character.
Mhm.
Well, he's not a different character, he's a different person. So that's the kind of character development you want to have in a story. The whole point of having a story is you have this character, he has to have like these major flaws, or she.
Mhm.
They have these flaws, they have a problem, they have issues. What are their issues? What are their problems? You should, I mean, if you want to, you can even make a list of these things. Their issues, their problems, what is it that they want? What is it that they need?
Mhm.
And then throughout the story, those are the things that they should be seeking, gaining, and developing into. So everything that they're not in the beginning is what they should be at the end.
Exactly.
And that's, there's your character development. And all of your characters should have some kind of character development too. You have, even like the background guys, they should, have, your sidekicks or whoever it is. They should also have some kind of character development along the way.
I've got a story. The main character in the beginning, his biggest flaw is he's flawless.
Okay, that can be a flaw.
Yeah, I have one character this time I think she put me.
By the end of the story, he becomes human and actually, learns to actually accept the flaws that he has and move past them and grow.
Yeah, see
Then
that,
he
well, that's
becomes-
growth.
Then he becomes a person by the end,
Mhm.
instead of before he's just like, I'm perfect,
And I know everything and I am one
I'm
of
the
them.
strongest, I can do anything. And then all of a sudden it's not, and then he has to learn how to actually do all the stuff.
No, see, that's fantastic. I like that.
Mhm.
How about you?
And
What
was
about,
just gonna- one more thing.
yeah, okay,
The
well,
side characters in that also have a growth arc because they were all relying on him and then all of a sudden they couldn't rely on him.
Oh.
So then they all had
yeah.
to learn to rely on themselves.
I like that.
So it was a double.
Yeah. Well, now
So-
see, okay.
I was just trying to show side character development, bouncing off the main character's development.
Okay, now mine is the opposite.
Okay.
Because, so with my main character, because he is like this, he's completely inept, he's not capable of anything. So then his sidekicks, they end up teaching him and everything, and they think that
depending on him. I mean, he's depending on
he's depending on them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So then as he grows, then it turns out that then they come to rely on him instead.
Yeah, well,
Because, so it's like
by
the
the end,
opposite.
all these characters are a great team,
Mhm.
but they had to learn to do things on their own.
Yeah,
So,
see, mine's the opposite, they learn to, because they're so self-sufficient. And well, it's
Well-
not even that they know everything and can do everything.
Yeah.
It's that they've had to,
Mhm.
they've had to do everything independently, they haven't
Yeah.
been able, it's more of a trust thing,
Mhm.
being able to trust somebody else.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they have learned, to trust somebody else, and that, hey, you know what, we can rely on this other person. So,
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So your side characters.
yeah, your side
are-
characters,
interacts with the main characters.
exactly, especially.
Everybody becomes better people.
Yes, that's the point of a story, is everybody should be better. It's not just about the story and the events that happen, but the characters themselves should have
Yeah.
like major growth.
And there's one more character in the story, who's the love interest. She's the one, she has no self-confidence or anything like that. And by the end, she becomes a person who can really, do everything, has the confidence and stuff. So layers.
Yes.
Books have layers.
Yeah.
All stories should have layers, and it's not even about, it's more about, not even about like the plot, it's more about, the characters.
Yeah, we're not here for the plot, we're here for the characters.
Yes.
But then, see, you can have a story though too, where it is strictly about the event, and then the characters are just like,
Or like facets of
yeah,
viewing it.
exactly, they're just, yes, exactly, they're just, you're just seeing.
That
them-
works really well for historical fiction.
You're just seeing this event through the perspective of somebody, yes, it's excellent for historical fiction. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
We have so much to talk about whenever it comes to stories and stuff, and I want to read other people's stories. I want to show other people's books, and we really, this is gonna go on forever. I mean, we really could do this
So-
forever.
What's one of, you have a lot of main characters, what's one of their development arcs? Yeah, how does he start at the beginning and then end up at the end? Or she, or you just,
She was too busy listening. She doesn't know.
Well,
How about you?
me?
Yeah.
Well, I have this main character, and he keeps getting a lot of stuff wrong, and like he gets fired from all his jobs and stuff like that, and then he ends up finding out that he has a superpower, and like he needs to work on that, and then he becomes a superhero, and the other character helps him with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's character development where he has a
Yeah.
superpower and he discovers.
Yeah, and like
He discovers
he
he
loses
has it.
his jobs and stuff like that because of that, and like, he needs, and then
So
he
he
makes
discovers,
it become superpower.
so like he's
So
got
it's
this, it's like a
It's a
problem.
Yeah,
And it causes him to lose all his jobs and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's causing him problems, but he discovers how to turn it into a superpower. And so his weakness, he turns into a strength.
exactly. And then yeah, he's a
That's
superhero.
Mhm.
So
And then he's a superhero.
That's even like short children's stories. They should have something in them like that. That's like, we were talking about the peacock party. I mean, that's, that isn't really,
it's more like
it's not about characters and
Yeah,
stuff
no,
like that. It's about a part, it's
also
poetry.
poetry.
It's completely different.
yeah.
It's, oh my goodness, I love poetry, but that's
Yeah.
completely irrelevant. I love poetry that is rich poetry. That's what I love
Poetry.
about the peacock party and the Lion's Cavalcade and everything. The poetry is so rich. It's, oh my goodness.
I love to write poetry.
So do I. I always loved that's I don't know, whenever I was younger, I did a lot of like, I don't know, I loved Edgar Allan Poe whenever I was younger. When I was in like
Edgar Allan
8th grade, we studied Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, I just like dove into it. I mean, just I loved it. The Raven and every, you know, then I got into everything with it. And I don't know, I think that was actually really good for me. I mean, it did kind of, you know, it was kind of morbid, but it was still really
I saw a meme.
valuable.
Speaking of Edgar Allan Poe, I saw a meme that said, I don't put projects on the back burner. I bury them under my floorboards or the ever increasing beat of their heart drives. Slowly drives me insane.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So anyways, I think that,
I read that one, the one
Yeah.
short story, yeah.
Yeah.
all right, and don't let me
Tell
forget.
no heart.
Yeah, that tells how hard. Don't let me forget, what was the meme I was gonna put up earlier?
Oh.
Oh, the dragons. Dragons can be defeated.
Yeah. That wasn't a meme, that was a quote.
Well, it's a,
G.K. Chesterton, I think.
I have it.
Okay, you already have it?
Yeah, I have it. And it has, well, the reason I'm saying it has I'm saying it's a meme is because there's an image of it. It's
Yeah.
a popular one.
I love it. I have it on a couple of Pinterest boards.
Yeah, I love that one. It's one of my favorites, and I'll just
I
post
have
that. Whoever did that, I hope their name is on it, because I try to make sure any memes or anything that I post, I want to give credit to the person who did it.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure that I repost them the way that they are. So, okay. Anyways, and again, if anybody has, you know, books or anything like that you want to send us, we are welcome to, you know, you're welcome to do so. Just
We can
contact.
analyze your characters.
Yeah, we could, I would love to
Yeah,
go
I
through
really
some
enjoy
people's
the
books.
reading.
And not just, like, I don't wanna do just like book reviews, I wanna, you know, point out, oh, this is, you know, this
Or
is
like,
what
you
I
know,
really
we
like.
love this about this book.
Yeah, and
this
read
is,
some parts out loud, and just have fun with it. So if anybody wants to do that,
And you
just
can
feel free to do
Really
so.
see how your book impacts people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like you can't just get everything from a
Really,
review,
some
like we were
books
talking
are
about
like
like packaging
or 4 or 5.
stuff.
Yeah, and there's
It's
also
on the
there's
show,
at
it
least
would
four.
be different, so you wouldn't have to like package it into a review either.
Right.
Because we
and-
like to ramble, so we
Yeah.
wouldn't have to worry.
Yes, because we like to
So
ramble.
that would
and-
make it easy, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah,
to, you know.
It's actually easier for me to write like a 500-word review than a 5-word review.
Yeah. And also, we also, because there are a bunch of us, yeah, we have different interests, and I mean, one sort of different interests, we do, believe it or not, but
Sometimes, yeah.
but I think it would be really fun, and one of the big things is that we support indie authors, and you know, that's our big thing. We want to see people succeed. We want people that have something unique and creative that you know worked on, and we want to tell other people about it. We want people to see your stuff, and so we continue to, you know, we're gonna continue to do this, and because we really enjoy it, and I hope you do too. This is probably already too long. My uploads are taking hours at a time, and I have 3 videos still to upload, so this is the 3rd one now. All right, so we're gonna close out for today,
Yeah.
and
And tomorrow maybe we'll talk about more characters.
Yeah.
yes,
I
okay,
mean-
so
Yeah, we have a lot to.
we have a lot to get into, and we're gonna keep getting into it.
And the thing is, before we start these, we're like, I don't even know what to talk about.
Yes, we're like, what's
Yeah.
today's topic gonna be?
I
And
have
then,
nothing to say about character
Well, there's
development. What are you
down.
talking about?
You start talking.
and then we just can't shut up.
Yeah.
So anyways. Everybody have a great day. Hope you enjoyed those 2 videos today. So
Yeah.
we'll post them both. And everybody have a wonderful day, and thank you very much.